So it's going to be a shorter talk than the big 2.5 hour lectures we have with kind of experts, or when we're doing a module, or when we're doing the acceleration tutorials. But we're just going to look at what we've got in store for 2026 in terms of the teaching and the lectures and the new content that is coming. So in 2025, we did an amazing amount of different stuff, and we ended the year brilliantly with Professor Andrew Shin doing his epic lecture on demystifying AI, artificial intelligence, for someone who's not an AI professor as he is, and explaining it in terms that people could understand, but really getting underneath the hood of what a large language model is doing, for example, how it is generating that content. And I think I said at the time on the course, if someone wants to know how to make a 3D model, I can tell you. If someone wants to know how to program a game, Matt can tell you. If someone asks exactly how is a large language model doing the thing that the work that it's doing, we don't know. So we brought Andrew in to explain it, and it was a brilliant talk. And that talk goes online tomorrow and is well worth grabbing, sitting through, and really increasing your understanding of the fundamentals of AI in games and in the wider world right today. And then we finished off with a review of everything we'd done in the year, all the talks we'd given, the new modules we've got, the expert talks that have come in, and that will be online tomorrow as well. And so you can go and review that, see the things you've missed, see the things that you might want to grab off the site, have a look at, refresh your knowledge, or expand your knowledge in an area that you might that might be new to you. So in 2025, all that content was split up into expert talks, prototype talks, where we were testing out new teaching, new modules that would then go on to become fully formed, finished, more advanced modules on the site with ECTS credits attached that you can go and study. We did a dry run for Deepa's talk earlier in the year, and now it's a module online that you can grab. And then we did some new modules. We did a whole set of new practical modules in Unreal. We did a whole set of theory modules on the origins of play, the origins of games, and narrative within games. And then we do community outreach events amongst all of our students. The main one being the big Psychedelic game survey that we ran in the first half of the year. Excuse me. And then we do more direct teaching. We did more direct teaching last year. We did the Xcelerate sessions, where new students can go through live with us with some of the modules, and we help people through some of the more difficult areas and answer some of the questions they might have. And we do whole week-long teaching events. We did the summer school, we did the autumn school, and those are going to carry on. And then we just do kind of industry news events. So like expert talks, prototype modules, new modules, community events, teaching, and kind of industry news is all part of the thing that we tend to do on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday evening. And in 2025, for the first time, we started to bifurcate and branch that content into content that was really for experienced students that have been with us for a while, that have studied some modules, that have gone through the beginner and intermediate modules, and now are looking to do more advanced work, such as design as a guiding principle, or the internship program itself, which is starting soon. We're thinking about like, how to really take a student on a journey from knowing nothing about games, but wanting to be interested in games, wanting to have a career in games, to getting to that point, getting to the point where you are successfully having a career making games. And then we've started thinking, as I said, as well, about the new student arriving, how to get them through some of the earlier hurdles, some of the earlier modules, answer their questions so that they can get on to the intermediate and the advanced modules themselves. And in 2026, we're going to have a similar content mix, because it went down very, very well with both the university that we work with, XAMK University in Finland, and with the whole student community. And we're going to also have some new things we're going to look at, new things we're going to do, new stuff. And the first of that, and it's launching right now, is our new student dashboard by Nick, where for the first time you get a really, really great overview of what you've completed, what you are underway with, what you've got to complete in your future year. And you also get like a very easy to follow update of all the events that are coming and the events that have just happened that you might have missed, that you might want to then go back and refer to, because all of our talks go online after the event. And very easy access to all of the content that is available to you. Yeah. And we really have found that some of the students who've been testing this and doing kind of user testing for us find it is a great aid to their learning, and just the sense of what they've achieved and what they've got to do and what their next milestone is. So we're massively excited to bring this to the whole student audience. It's launching this week, and if you have any feedback on it, if you get to us on Discord, we would love to know your thoughts about, have you found a bug? Is there an improvement you'd like to see? What could we do in phase 2? And just generally how you are finding it. Yeah, but we're really excited to be launching this. And then in terms of our big categories, like news, what are we going to be doing industry news wise this year? Well, in previous years, we've either been to GDC or reported on GDC, one of the biggest game conference within the world of gaming. And we'll do the same again when it comes through in March. Whether we get people right on the ground there, we're not sure about yet, but we will have a really good insight into what's going on, the talks that were good, and the general kind of feeling, the temperature of the games industry at that point in the year. And then, of course, we did some great content on the history of GTA and the growth of GTA as an overall brand, overall fantastic play experience, IP, etc. And even though it's been delayed, it's the biggest game in years that's going to launch, isn't it? Yeah. And so, of course, we've been following it along the way, and we are totally aware, not only is it one of my favorite gaming experiences, it's the number one game in terms of the games that our student community likes. And so we will definitely be reporting on GTA 6, the verdict on it, getting hands on, trying to experience as much of the game as possible, and then building out some content to share, and really getting into the play experience, not just kind of itemizing the size of the game, but like where it's changed, how it's changed, how the IP is growing and moving forward. And then big for us, probably the biggest trade show in Europe, Gamescom. We will be at Gamescom this year, reporting from the event. And, like GDC, it's an enormous litmus test for, where the industry's at in terms of profitability, in terms of new companies starting, in terms of great games being made. And it actually has a visitors day. It's a much more open conference than a lot of conferences worldwide. So if you want to come and meet us there, absolutely brilliant. It'll be great fun. And there'll be other smaller conferences that we will do as well. Excuse me. And then In terms of teaching, we will do for new students coming through Xcelerate version 3, where we will go through, like I say, some of the earlier modules up to the intermediate modules, take people through week by week. And we found people love it. They love to be able to ask us direct questions. And the good thing for us is that one of the key cornerstones of everything we do, it's all about relevant content. And it's all about getting industry experts and professional games developers in to talk and make and shape that content, like Matt and I are. So the good thing for us is, every time we go through and Xcelerate, we always update the module slightly, so that it is, really, really cutting edge. Like, AI within games is changing day by day, week by week. History of video games is obviously more set, but character design, for example, that's not on this slide, but it's one of the ones we do in Xcelerate. We're always looking to update that and grow that, and find more, great relevant character designs from current moments in time, rather than just great historical ones. So we will redo Xcelerate in the first quarter of this year, and we will do. We did a summer school online. We did a autumn school online. We will do a winter school coming up very soon. And this time, we previously did it like 1 in the afternoon finish time, 11 my time, Europe, UK time, Greenwich Mean Time, and took the afternoon. And I think the next one, as an experiment, we're going to do it finish time slightly later, like 5 to 7, or maybe even 6 to 8. We'll confirm very soon. And then that means it'll be slightly earlier for people who are further west in Europe. And we're doing like maybe 2 hours a night, going through with the aim of, like, firstly taking people through lots of early modules, and then getting to that big pitching session where students form into teams and come up with game concepts and game ideas and pitch them out, and grow their own networks organically through this great learning experience. So, we will be doing a winter night school. If that goes well, we'll do a spring night school. And then we do have an actual, not online, but the plan is to do out in Finland a summer school of gaming, and actually have students and us and everybody there in person. So that should be really great as well. And overall, after we've done this winter school, the aim is that we develop and push the deliverable a little bit further. In the summer school, everyone did a pitch based around module 18, the one sheet for a concept. In the autumn school, everyone did a pitch based around Amy's winning investment module, which was a much deeper and bigger, expansive, production-focused pitch. Very good for people to really get into why would somebody invest in your idea and in your company. And we hope this year to push that even further, so that, our ideal is we do like the next autumn school we do, we're actually making play prototypes. That's the challenge that I've set Matt, and that we're thinking about how we'll undertake that right now. So these should develop as we go through the year, and they should be great fun and a great way to meet up with other people, other students who want to make games. And then the internship program, and that's moving forward very, very fast and at pace. So for Psychedelic, for Matt and I and the people that we're working with, we are going to be taking on at least one art intern and at least one design and engineering intern. We want to work on first-person shooter level prototypes, and we want to build some new prototypes. Duration of that, 3 months. Yeah, and I'll come to the more than just a screenshot in a moment. And then another company that have signed up to the internship program, Movie Storm, they would like a design intern and they'd like an art intern, and they want to build design environments for their VR prototypes, and they want to build art props and environments for those prototypes as well. And they're looking for a 3-month internship, and they would probably take an engineering intern as well. And they want to be really fast, quick turnaround. And I think the interesting one about this one is that, like, if you've got a great design idea that fits within the thing they want to prototype, I think they're really open for you to trying it out. Yeah, they're looking for people to actively contribute, and they're looking to make fast turnaround prototypes and release them as well. So this is one here.
So survey the scene. Over here we have a nice one. So I'm just going to run and jump through there, slide down here at high rate. Scary enough. And then I think, because I know it's here, there's a little hidden one down here. And then I can go around these edges and jump and get back over here. I've got things like just up here, there's a little trapped, I don't know if I'm going to get, am I really going to get down in there? Yep. See, I can go through there if I want to. I can even come all the way out the other side if I want to. So I've got that sort of shit. I'll get back up on there. I can go through here. And I can get back on there by going up here and then flying over to there, and you walk back into the middle of the room. And now,
so just a little tiny insight into some of the ways they build and construct some of their early prototype levels. Yeah, and I think that's what they're looking for, people to jump in and get involved with. So it's, it's a really fun opportunity. And then Kaji, with Yarn, what we want to do there, we want to look at working across the Discord and other entry points into the experience, working across socials to engage and strengthen the audience and the number of people we get coming into the site. And we want to do some biz dev and analysis. So we're looking for a biz dev analysis intern to research current and new market opportunities in the space that we sit within. So that should be really, really interesting as well. And the next steps is just full documentation. And that is actually on me. And I will be completing that over the next few days. But everyone has to have a break over Christmas. So we're like, we're maybe 48 hours behind where we want to be. But this stuff's going to be announced very, very soon. If you're interested in getting involved, all of the entry points and ways to get involved will be announced over the next couple of days. So it should be brilliant. I'm really excited about it. And then in terms of community events, last year we did the Psychedelic Game Survey for 2025, and it was brilliant, really good for myself and for Matt, and we learned a lot of great stuff about where the industry's at, where our community's at, and the kind of things that you as a community are interested in hearing more about, and where the course should go. And we want to do that again. We're going to do that again this year, and probably in the first quarter of the year, probably quite imminently. And one of the good things about this is we always find some prizes. Yeah, some prizes. So if you last year, if you did the survey, it's very easy to complete survey, submitted it, and then you went into the kind of prize lottery for I think it was like £50 Steam cards. Yeah, I think we had 4 or 5 of them, and it was great fun, and it was gamified. The whole survey was gamified, and so we will do that again. And like I said, it's going to be bigger, better, with prizes, and it will go through 3 areas. One will be like you, the players. What are you playing? What are you looking forward to? What hardware are you thinking about buying? What things most excite you? And then us, the course, what modules are the ones that you like the best? Where can we improve even on the 96% approval rating we already have? We constantly want to always be doing more and better. And then, what do you think about what's happening in the industry? Yeah, where the industry's at. So it'll be within those three categories. And then as well as there being prizes, we are totally open and publish all of the results. So everyone in our community can see what everybody else is thinking and, and the direction that we might be traveling in. So it should be really, really good. And then we will do a level design challenge version 2. In the summer last year, we did a brilliant paper-based level design challenge. And again, we had recommended, highly commended, and an overall winner of that challenge. And there was 3 credits associated with undertaking the challenge. And for me, it was just great fun. And it was a paper-based, so we wanted people to do a paper-based level design and description. And Matt was very insistent on that. And so as an example, I did one and did a description, and it was great. It was really good. It was a really kind of refreshing, fun experience for me. And then judging and getting back all the different styles of kind of work and game and genre and everything was brilliant. So we will do another one, and we're in discussion about it now. We in some way want to put a practical component into it. So it might be that we do like a level design challenge version 2, part 1 and part 2. And there's a paper-based challenge for people that are new to the challenge, and they can undertake that. And then a version 2, part 2, where you get to build that in 3D. And if you've already done the challenge last year, maybe you can jump straight into the building. If you haven't, you can do the paper design and then move to the building. Yeah, we're still thinking about what the best way to have the maximum benefit for the maximum number of students is, but we're going to do that. And this is something we're testing out now. And I talked about it in December. We've had one of our students working with this kind of geometry set, which is a set of jump heights, jump distances, all the rules of kind of navigation in the first person shooter prototypes that we're building. And we've had a student help us and build some more complex stuff using this as a template, and it's worked really well. So it will probably be that's how we're going to approach the level design challenge V2 part 2, that once you've done a really cool paper-based design and that gets ticked off, you grab these assets from us and then build that paper-based design or evolve that paper-based design out into a real true 3D model. And we have the engine and the game now to get that up and running and working really quickly. So it should be, a really, really exciting community event. And then in terms of new modules, we're going to do the Secrets of Great Level Design Part 3, building on the stuff I've just been talking about. But our number one thing that we're working on right now is the first person shooter modules that I'm working on with Matt. And we have, so far we've got the instruction, setup, assets, interactions, weapons, and weapons part 2, all done, complete and ready to share and go out as separate modules into the community this month. So we're incredibly excited about it. And this is where it is right now. So if you complete all of these modules, you will make a full featured demo of a first person shooter. Yeah. And if you watch closely, you should be able to see some of the enemies. I think Matt deliberately let himself be killed there. I don't know why he didn't dodge out the way. But, we're very, very excited about where we're going to go in terms of both the teaching modules and where that will lead as the next stage when those modules are complete. And then, like I said, about when we were talking about last year, we tend to do like prototype talks and prototype work and present it in a lecture, and then if it goes down well and students like what we're doing, we then make it into a kind of final module, a proper module that goes up online and you can study it when the ECTS credits are attached to it. And a little bit like a band or a comedian might, do like regional small theatres to test out and evolve and grow the material and the music and the routines, and before they go on their kind of full tour. We do a similar kind of thing, and we did a load of stuff last year that will go on to become modules that sit alongside some of the things I've just been mentioning about. But we are going to be doing advanced character design. We've been doing the character design one since the beginning, and it's grown and evolved in the 5 years that we've been doing it. But and that's great, but it's a beginners or intermediate level module, and I want to do a really advanced one that contains all the other stuff that myself and the people I really, really respect, like the Lees and someone else you're going to see in a minute, all of their knowledge, and get that so you can design from paper until you can make in 3D something brilliant. And along with that, we want to do advanced level creation, which obviously builds really well into all the other kind of first person shooter engineering content we're talking about. And then there's some stuff that Matt had slightly not banned, that's too strong a word. He was a little bit reticent for us to be talking about it tonight. But after we've done the first person shooter, after we've done the advanced level creation, we want to take some new modules in a very, very different direction, because we want to make something. We want to make something and complete it and release it. And that's great. We've really enjoyed everything we've been doing on the course, but we want to release something, and we want to build some content for the course that runs in parallel, so maybe it'll become more dev diary focused, more immediate. Maybe we'll be more open about the things we're underway with, and but there'll be more details upon that coming up in the next couple of months. We need to just iron out a few things about, for example, like what exactly we want to make, and then that might affect how we build modules around that. But it's going to be really, really exciting. It's going to be great. And then in terms of expert talks, Andrew's talk in December was brilliant. And I think when he saw the final edit of it, and he saw the kind of enthusiasm and the interest and the challenging questions that a lot of the community gave him around some of the risks and worries people have with AI. I think he's really gone away and thought about it. And he actually said, I want to come back. Can I come back first quarter of the new year? And I'm going to talk about how I will save the planet with AI. I thought, well, do you know what I mean? What a great thing. What a great thing. He came and told us about AI. People gave him some really challenging and constructive questions, and he's gone away and listened to what we said as a collective, as a community, and it's actually evolved or helped him pivot to what he wants to do, and he's going to come back and share that with us. And so it's a really great impact that the course is having, not just with us as kind of teachers and the industry professionals, and not just with the student community body learning and growing and heading towards their game development future, but with some of the experts that we get in. We're influencing how they think and what they do. And then another one, a bit like the brilliant talk we had with Lee before Christmas. I have a number of people that I'm always trying to either entice in or kind of hunt down who I think would give an absolutely fantastic evening lecture. And Pete Giles, who we know from his contribution to the kind of favorite game talk in the autumn. He is going to come and talk about his career from the early days to where he is now. And he was the lead artist on Jurassic World Evolution 1 and Evolution 2. And he's going to talk about how he makes those fantastic dinosaur models. Yeah, if you know those games, if you've seen those games or played those games, you know, they have really, really great models. And Pete's been in the industry since, you know, that Tyrannosaurus Rex would have been about 120 polys when Pete started, and now it's incredibly sophisticated. And you know, and the difference between the film versions and the game versions are getting smaller and smaller and smaller all the time. And he's going to come in and talk all about that. It's going to be great. And Adam, he's going to do an indie development talk. Yeah, and like he's like a 1-2 person band, but he also does gigs with big companies. He has what's called a portfolio career, which is something really interesting that I think a lot of students should hear about. Because a lot of students come to us and they go, I don't know whether I want to be, you know, a small scale solo or, you know, small team indie, or whether I want to really get into a big corporate or big games dev company and be a smaller cog in a really big wheel, you know, big machine, sorry. And we always say it doesn't have to be binary. You know, I know loads of people who work in a big company, but their big hobby project is something they do solo on their own, and they spend, you know, a time on that when they can, and they release it, and it might be successful, might not be successful, but they have they work in both the indie sphere and big AAA at the same time. And Adam does that. If you've ever if you know the game Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisp, like Adam Watson knows, as well as doing his own indie development project. So he's going to come in and talk about all about that. So it's going to be really, really great, inspiring and useful as you think about the next steps you take. And then one of our most popular talks last year, we got Nicole from Lego to talk about principles of design and you know, how Lego and how she thinks about that, and you know, the universal rules of good design. Yeah, and she's going to come in and do another talk this year on kind of innovation in play. And if you've been following CES, the Consumer Electronic Show in Las Vegas this week, or any news this week, you'll be aware that Lego have launched their Smart Play brick system, which I worked on with Nicole. Nicole has worked on it throughout the entire life until its launch. She's very, very experienced and uniquely positioned to be able to talk about design and play and gamifying play bricks in fascinating and interesting ways. Yeah, and so the last time she was here was a brilliant talk, and so this one will be the same again. So it should be great. And so that's it. We don't quite yet have it all in a calendar. That's the next step. As you probably are aware, if I want to get Pete is an industry professional, so his availability is, you know, there's moments where he's available, moments where he's not, and that applies. The bigger and the more we want to get a speaker in, sometimes the nailing the date can be a difficult thing. But the next time we come back, we'll have a schedule, and some of these things will have landed, and there'll be set dates that we'll announce that you can put in your calendar. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing, and we'll take any questions. But you can see we are honoring all the 5 categories that we have established last year with, like, you know, news, community events, prototype modules, new modules, and kind of super expert talks. We've got all that. And, you know, and then we're going to base a whole lot of new content around the first person shooter work that we're doing, which will start debuting this year. And then there'll be some things in the calendar that we can't talk about now that will be equally exciting. So I'm going to hand back to Jan, and I'm willing to take any questions about any of the stuff we've discussed. We've got a little bit of time, so that's all great.
Yeah,
so
thank you, James. Amazing stuff. It's going to be great.